Thank you for joining me once again. This is my update for the 18th of November 2025. There was an assassination attempt on the life of Sergei Shoigu, the Secretary of Russian Security Council. Saboteurs were planning to assassinate him, according to the Russian security services. No names or culprit had been mentioned, not yet, but I suspect investigations are still going on. We are just waiting for more information to come up, and then I will come back and update you guys on the full situation. They were planning to detonate an explosive device during Shoigu's visit to his relative's grave. In other words, he was planning to visit the grave to lay flowers on the relative's grave. That is where they were planning to take him out, to detonate a device and end him. The same tactics Ukraine had used in deleting a few top commanders within Moscow. Now, don't get me wrong, don't go too far yet. I'm not saying it is Ukraine, because investigation is still going on. You cannot call someone guilty until they are found guilty, right? But we obviously know where all fingers are pointing to. I'm just trying to make a point there. That was the same tactics they were trying to use to take out Shoigu. All the suspects from Central Asia and from Ukraine had all been arrested, and the plot or the plan to delete Shoigu was thwarted. This was according to Russian security services. Shoigu is a very important figure in the Russian government and also within the Russian authority. He was in charge of the Ministry of Defense when the war in Ukraine started. So he is a very important person, a very high up. And at the same time, he is also a legitimate target for Ukraine and a few other countries that see themselves as the enemies of Russia. Let's not forget that. Russia had not revealed the exact person or the exact people that were planning this assassination. They just said they arrested some Central Asian men and also Ukrainian citizens that were planning to carry out this dirty work inside Russia. Now, because they didn't mention the names, don't really mean they don't know who the people behind this are. I suppose they are just tracking people down. They are trying to track people down right now. But we will find out. You know how Russia operates. They go quiet and then they will come out with the result of their investigation. The only obvious suspect. Now let's get to the point where I want you guys to get involved. The only obvious suspect here would be the Ukrainian Security Services, the SBU, or the Ukrainian Special Forces, as some of you call it, with the help of NATO and the EU intelligence, obviously. Now, this is my guess, okay? Not that there's anything being officially confirmed yet, but this is not really hard to figure out who is behind this, is it? Because we've seen the same tactics over and over again. So it is not difficult to work out who the culprit are. But like I said, nothing is officially confirmed yet. A few days ago, Zelensky had a meeting with the head of Ukrainian intelligence service, Budanov. And apparently he instructed Budanov to carry out necessary measures against Russia in the interest of Ukraine. The meeting was held on the 12th of November 2025, about a week ago. Now, please, I'm not saying Zelensky instructed the assassination attempt on Sergei Shoigu, okay? Don't twist my words or get me wrong, please. What I'm trying to say here is that everything and anything is possible. We have seen Ukraine carried out this gruesome assassination of some top military figures inside Russia, and they all call I mean, they all came after Zelensky had exactly this kind of meeting with Budanov and instructed measures against Russia. That is when those assassinations inside Russia happened. I'm sure some of you, those of you that still have, I'm sure you remember a few commanders that were deleted when explosives were remotely detonated. You remember those, right? If you don't remember them, please do your research and you will understand why I mentioned Ukraine and Zelensky in this particular one. Because according to the Russian security services, it was exactly the same tactics they were trying to use. But this time around, their plan failed. One thing we have missed, or we are missing, is that so far so good throughout this war in Ukraine, Russia had not assassinated a single one of top Ukrainian government authorities or person, or even attempt to do it. Now, we know Russia has the means, they have the intelligence, they have the power to do this if they want to do so. But even if they want to delete Zelensky, they have every single means to do that. Even if they want to delete any EU leaders or any top political leader that come into Ukraine, Russia can do it, but they have not attempted to even do so or even plan to do so. Why have they not attempt to strike fear into the heart of the Ukrainian government official? Because if you look at things, the way things are going right now, it looks like Ukraine is the one having the upper hand, hunting Russian government official, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Ukraine got what it takes, but I mean, reality, the history don't lie, right? Ukraine have been successful in deleting some top Russian commanders inside Russia. So why is Russia not doing the same to put fear in the minds of the Ukrainian government official? Maybe they will come to their senses. If they start hunting them down one by one, I mean, they will come to their senses, right? They haven't even made any single attempt to do that. Russia haven't made any attempt to even go that way. I understand Russia is the bigger brother to Ukraine, the father to Ukraine, let's put it that way. And they wouldn't bring themselves to that child play. But the child play, sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. And I mean, personally, I don't know why Russia has slowed down or why Russia had been so calm and allowed Ukrainian officials to move around the world and to be moving freely everywhere, left and right. I don't know why. But Ukraine, on the other hand, had carried out numerous assassinations of top commanders and political figures inside Russia. Not outside Russia, inside Russia. Now, there are rumors of Shoigu being the next target, like we just talked about. What is really going on here? What is really going on here? Now, one thing I want to believe is that after this last attempt that the Ukrainian SBU tried to make on Shoigu's life, Russia is going to start mirroring this action and they will start hunting the Ukrainian official. I strongly believe this is going to be the next move. Mark my word, just brace yourself. Once Russia start, wait and see how the Western media is going to exaggerate and they are going to blow the whole thing up like, Russia is deleting it. Right now, Ukraine is doing it. They are giving Ukraine thumbs up. It is one rule for one side and another rule for another side. You will say, I told you so. Just brace yourself. Let's wait and see what happens next. In the last 24 hours, Russia carried out another missiles and drone strike all over Odessa seaport and the entire region of Odessa. During this process of the missile and drone attack, an unnamed tanker carrying LNG was hit and destroyed by Russia. The port facility and port infrastructures and the tanker were completely destroyed. Whose tanker was that? I'm hearing this rumor that the tanker belonged to Turkey, some company in Turkey carrying LNG into Odessa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's wait and see what happened in regard to this investigation Russia is conducting based on the attempt that was made on Sergei Shoigu's life. What do you guys think? I mean, regarding the point I made that Russia so far so good have been so calm and relaxed. They've made no attempt to even carry out any form of, assassination attempt or delete any one of top Ukrainian officials. They are allowing them to move all over the place. And this is the reason why they are becoming more confident. Right? Do you agree with me on that point? And do you think if Russia starts to hunt them, do you believe that their ways of thinking is going to be different? They're going to start thinking straight or not? Let me know what you think in the comment section.